Alright, and I'm back. The game should be loading very shortly. Once again, thanks to everybody that's been watching up till now. Thanks to everybody that's been following the tournament. Shoutouts to all the people that supported the event by entering and competing. Thanks to eSportsHI for getting the prizes locked on from Riot. Those Triumphant Ryze skins will be a nice prize for sure. That was really terrible and glitchy, but whatever. As we are onto the Rift, and I will rearrange these. Actually, that's perfect. There we go. Shoutouts to We Make You Fizz with that perfect lineup. I don't need to change a single thing. So yeah, this is for all the bragging rights. It all comes down to this, the rubber match. 2-2, 1 game to go. Whoever wins this takes it all.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And I hope that this would be a good match, and this definitely did not disappoint. Both teams should be proud of themselves for making it this far and for playing this well, both individually and as a team. But they can't relax yet. There's still one more game to be played, so they're going to really have to suck it up, dig down deep, and concentrate. See if they can keep their communication up and keep their wits about them. And it looks like We Make You Fizz, of course, going to play nice, since Amumu desperately needs to secure his blue. And this is going to allow for Nautilus to secure his own blue as well. And it looks like there will be a lane swap coming in, obviously for Vayne. Vayne loves being in a 2v1, means that she's at much less risk to dying early where she is at her weakest. And they're sending Nasus to do the 2v1 in bottom. We'll see if JDK can repeat his performance last game where he was able to CS despite the 2v1. Might be a little harder this time. And again, this is going to come down a lot to how the mids perform. If Soul Seizures can survive the laning phase, then he might be able to keep his farm up with Anivia. But once Anivia hits 6, it's going to be very difficult. So Soul Seizures needs to die as little as possible. Needs to make sure that his lane is warded up, because Amumu will come for him, rest assured. As we see both junglers taking their reds, very standard, and Soul Seizures immediately going to ward. Might not be the best ward in the world. It's not going to cover... It'll barely cover, I think, Amumu coming in. No, actually it won't. If Amumu comes from his raids, that's not going to be a good place for him to ward. I don't know if he got spotted out right there. Yeah, it doesn't look like Soul Seizure saw him. That was just the wrong place to ward. But luckily he was able to escape without flashing. The bandage toss not as dangerous as some of the other junglers that VO16 was running earlier. But yeah, if you notice that how that ward does not cover the raid entrance, so Amumu just got a free pass into mid. But thankfully the ward was able to spot him coming in to the bottom. Sneaky Deeps gets knocked into the wall. Doesn't really... Ooh. As we see... Ooh! Nautilus can make the grab here, maybe? No, nothing's gonna come of that. Unfortunately. Oh, excuse me. I actually turned off the fog of war. There we go. So both teams, again, stepping very cautiously in this early going. I have no idea what's going to happen at this point in the game. As we see both junglers just kind of babysitting the solo laners. It also helps them get some experience as well. They really need the levels, particularly for their stats and for their ultis. And right now and as long as Amumu continues to babysit JDK, that's great for Soul Seizures because it'll just give him time to just farm on his own. That was a really glitchy bandage toss right there, but fail pull right there by Sniper Worm. He needs to get his pulls down. Can't afford to miss too many of those. It's a lot of what makes Thresh so dominant. But Amumu will back off to do his double golems. Thankfully, the chase for Amumu and Nasus, not the strongest thing in the world, but I'm not really sure if the bandage is gonna reach. It did, but Nasus is out of mana, Amumu is out of mana, and Thresh can zone with his range. Just like that. That's exactly what he's gonna do. It's gonna force bot lane to recall for the blue team. Sneaky Deeves having a pretty okay time so far, but the general might need to come up soon, force them to back off maybe. Well, it looks like he's gonna set his sights on mid instead, as we see him coming in for a gank for Anivia. Not really sure if anything's gonna come of it though. Okay, so they immediately trade flashes right there. And Flesh playing back. Oh shoot! The turret aggro. Sniper Worm almost killed himself right there. Ooh, that's really bad now. The fact that he lost so much health means that Nasus probably won't be so likely to back off, especially with Amumu in the area. So, ooh, that effectively puts a lot of pressure on them as we see Amumu making a play for... Oh, he's warding the blue. Okay, so he's going to make sure that he knows when that's available because he wants to make sure that he can get it for himself, thereby making the pass of blue to Anivia a lot cheaper for himself. Mumu getting caught out. The general is 6, but they didn't want to go on that. They actually could have. In all honesty, Anivia was not there and Amumu was not 6 yet. Whereas, actually Soul Seizures is out of mana. Very unfortunate right there. I see now. But yeah, both dual lanes doing okay, I guess. Nasus and Malphite both around equal in CS, but the AD carry is also pretty even. Malphite doing an admirable job of holding this turret against Lulu and Vayne. But Malphite is technically blind to any dive, so they're gonna have to really keep their communication up. And see good mechanics by Images kiting in and out of the turret. And Nasus, well, Sniper Worm fainted lanterning somebody in right there. But Sneaky Deeves will have to leave. That is very unfortunate. Luckily though, this turret should go down very soon. Spirit Fire is going to come up, but it's not going to matter. They're going to get it. Just in time too, as they trade turrets most likely up top. Images is most likely going to finish that off. So very tit for tat so far. Nothing too outrageous. The flash blown on Sniper Worm is pretty big though. And the general able to secure his red buff, which is always good. Again, Amumu being forced to babysit Nasus was a pretty big deal. Didn't allow him to do a lot of the things that he was doing in the previous games. Although, to be fair, Amumu is not the best counter jungler, if you could even call him that. And a good combo right there by Shimmy Snap. Really knows the spacing of that Q. Both mids have managed to get their blue on deck, which is nice, particularly for Anivia. And the general sitting on top of a ward, so Anivia will back off. General will know, okay, that is not a clear path, so I will go back to my jungle. And the bot lanes now coming back to meet each other. And Nasus going up top to say hi to Malphite. And the hook! That is a catch. Hello! First blood. by Soul Seizures, not from Soul Seizures. So very nice. And Amumu probably doesn't want to go into this despite the fact that they blew some ultis. It's probably not a good idea. Oh my god, Amumu did not get the dragon. And I don't think he's going to get out. Yeah, he did not make it. That CC by Nautilus is just too much. All that hard CC. And looks like the top lane. Actually, Malphite came out pretty even on that, but a great catch for the LoLdo faction. A rare first dragon for them. And the game has been paused. Please, game. Why you do this? Okay, they said Sneaky D's might have DC'd. While we're waiting, I'll take a look at the items real quick. The dual mana items once again for Anivia. Very standard. Spirit Stone item coming out from Nasus though. That's a little unorthodox, I think. He's probably going for the Ancient Golem, I would guess. Moby Boots on Mumu, just so he can get the positioning for the ultis and the bandage tosses. Malphite looks like he's once again working on Sunfire Cape. That's going to be great for him. We'll see if he goes for a Frozen Heart with Vayne on the team as well. Lissandra, no real items to speak of yet either. And a Bilgewater Cutlass for both 80 carries. Plus, yeah, actually they actually have the identical builds right now. So, we're just gonna wait on the game to resume. Okay, and play on. So we see Shimmy Snap pushing up the mid turret. No surprise, that's what Anivia does, it's her MO. Lissandra needs to hurry up and get back to lane. As we see Sniper Worm and Sato pushing up their lane, but the turret's already gone, so there's no need for them to stay too long. They don't want to get jumped on. Sneaky Deebs also needs to be very careful that he has no turret to fall back onto. It's going to be a question of which team decides to gangbang the other turretless lane first, perhaps. It could also be a farm fest until the next dragon, or it could also be a contest over the mid turrets. We'll see. But the LoLdo faction have, for all intents and purposes, survived the early game of We Make You Fizz, which is always a good thing. The LoLdo faction do tend to play a lot better once they can get past the laning phase and into the team fight phase. But We Make You Fizz, their team fight not to be underestimated by any means. Comebacks are definitely possible. And right now they don't have a whole lot of vision on Amumu, so this could be bad for them. If he decides to pay bot a visit. It doesn't look like he's going to though. It looks like he's instead going to just keep farming. He might swing around now though that he sees the general is bottom and wants to bait a counter gank possibly. But it doesn't look like he's interested. Just wants to keep farming it up. And Lissandra really needs to put her ward down because that's very dangerous. Looks like Soul Seizures finally does put the ward down. But unfortunately Amumu on the other side of the map, so... Oh, and we see Anivia moving down, and they're pinging it out. But Lissandra not moving with the team. But thankfully Anivia was called off. That could have been ugly for them if they had got caught in a 4v2 or 4v3. But yeah, it looks like a farm fest for the most part. Neither team really wants to push their luck in a fight quite yet. But Anivia is out of mana, but her blue has respawned, so the junglers will say blue timeout, and they will both go and claim their blue buffs. Malphite should be very, very close to that Sunfire cape, and that's really going to help him against Nasus. Nasus isn't just going to be able to hump him for free now. He's going to have to think about that. But yeah, from the looks of things, it might actually just be a farm fest until Baron. But just as I say that, we see 4 people mid. LoLdo faction stacking up out of nowhere. I don't know how much luck they're going to have sieging a turret, though, with Anivia and blue buff. That's not a good look. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's going to come from that. Oh, the hook lands onto Vayne, but not in position. Ooh, panic flash by Soul Seizures, but it was probably warranted with the Curse of the Sad Mummy on the table. It was a decent hook onto Vayne, but the team wasn't really in a position to follow up from that. Not with all 5 of them there. And the LoLdo faction needs to hurry up and get all their members there, because this turret's going to get shoved down pretty fast otherwise. Not really sure if We Make You Fizz wants to dive this, though. We'll see what the call is. Malphite teleporting in. Excellent hook. And a nice knock-up right there. Oh, Images. You need to get out of there, sir, because Tristana's coming for you. Oh, wow, but Sato was tanking the turret. So that was actually really bad overall. They traded 1 for 2. LoLdo faction got a little too happy right there. Soul Seizures diving was okay, but Sato diving was not okay. He needed to realize that he was not that strong yet. And I think they would have killed Anivia, but they actually procced her egg, so yeah, that's why she didn't die. So that was a nice catch by the LoLdo faction, but they just didn't complete the fight, and they just kind of dropped the ball when it was in their court. And We Make You Fizz will gladly take those kills. Malphite finally completing that Sunfire cape. His teleport and ulti are down now, so that is where he is at his weakest. We'll see if We Make You Fizz can take advantage of that window. Taking a look at the CS right now, it's even. That's all I could say. The CS is, for all intents and purposes, the CS is even. So there's nothing more to say on that. These teams proving that they can go toe-to-toe with each other. The Dragon is now in the sights of the LoLdo faction. Nasus and Malphite both have burned their teleports, so this will be an honest fight. Actually, they're getting kind of pinched on right here. We'll see what they decide to do. And it looks like they're just going to back it up. And it looks like the General and company are going to try to make another play for the Dragon. And Malphite is going to go tend to Nasus, who's pushing the top lane. And then once again, they're just going back to the same strategy of pushing out the mid lane. We'll see if Thresh can hold this. They need to hurry up and get the Dragon really fast, because there's no wave clear. Yeah, it's too late. They're going to get this turret. It's all going to matter. Oh, actually, it's all going to... I was going to say it's going to matter whether or not the LoLdo faction can get back there in time to fight, because that's probably what they would want to do. But not quite enough damage yet. Making a liar out of me. They did not finish the turret quite yet, so that Dragon is worth. Most definitely. As Tristana will make her way in the way that is least likely warded towards bottom, just to avoid being spotted. Whatever gives the enemy team less time to react is always better. And yeah, taking a look at the gold, 23.8 to 21.6, 2 to 3 kills, even in turrets. These teams could not be closer. Well, they could be, but they couldn't be much closer at this point. They are basically playing probably the best that I've seen them play all tournament, to be honest. And this is very exciting. I have no idea who's going to win this. I can't call it yet. Anything can happen at this point. A Thresh catch, or a Nautilus gank, or even a well-executed team fight. Oh, wow. Sato barely getting away right there. If he had gotten caught right there, that could have been huge. As we see Shimmy Snap saying, "Me blue, please." And he will pick that up. As Vayne continuing to get farmed up like the machine that she is. And Soul Seizures will be taking his blue as well. That ward getting pinked out right there. Well done. Malphite going to go hold mid. That's going to leave JDK to counter jungle. And get more damage down on that turret. Turret hasn't really been touched quite yet, but it doesn't really matter. He's still going to get some hits on it with that Q. Yeah. And he'll just walk away. And that's just free damage right there. They're really going to have to either find an answer to him or start getting kills elsewhere on the map to force JDK to move. Oh, very nice damage output from Sneaky Deebs. Chunks him about a third of his life. That's one way to make him leave. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure that Nasus isn't too concerned about dying to Malphite just yet. He does still have his ulti to fall back on. And his ghost is also available. So yeah, this is a very slow game. Neither team wants to take too many risks, as I keep reiterating. As Malphite takes a chunk of damage from that Q. That Q is hurting him. That Q is going to start hurting even more on the squishy targets. The Amumu Bandage is a no bueno. So that fight is lost now. And it looks like the LoLdo faction is making a move to stack up in the mid, maybe? Yeah, and with Anivia's push, it's basically saying, hey, if you leave this lane, the tower is going to go down. No question right there. And bot lane, once again, man, the story of the game, just the lane control by We Make You Fizz has been so good. Always making sure that the lanes are pushing in their favor, allowing them to really force the LoLdo faction to make certain moves around the map. And yeah, Anivia's ulti plus her spell circulation makes sieging impossible. So all ultis should be available, and they are. Dragon should be coming up fairly shortly, and teleport is up for both tops. So we shall see what happens soon. I'm definitely looking for an Amumu Bandage all-in soon. Because once again, JDK is continuing to split push like a beast. And again, dictating the pace of the game. It's like they have, if one thing happens, then they do this. If something else happens, then they do this. They basically have pretty much all the options covered. Anivia's blue has finally timed out, but she'll be hard-pressed. She won't be running out of mana too soon. Nivea wall gets burned right there, but no real major cooldowns to speak of. As we see the bottom turret falling thanks to Nasus. It's continuing to be a thorn in their side. And it's such a great choice to go Nasus if you're JDK because of how well you scale with just free farm and late game. He's going to be so strong once the fights do start happening. As we see the LoLdo faction attempting to answer for another turret, and they see that there's two top. But We Make You Fizz not really sure what they want to do right here. Amumu bandaging in up top. Oh, that was a big bandage miss right there. If they had gotten that, they might have been able to kill him, but it's also quite possible that Curse of the Sad Mummy could have locked them up for a teleport counter gank. But Anivia taking out a chunk of the General's life, but they do get some good damage on the mid turret. And Malphite is quickly moving up to mid to regroup. Oh, but he actually... Oh, if Anivia Nasus had kept going, they might have been able to pinch him and force his ulti flash. Or flash, excuse me. And Soul Seizures with that. Zhonya's Hourglass. A huge item for Lissandra. Blade of the Ruined Kings on both 80 carries. And it looks like Sato will be working towards an Infinity Edge with that pickaxe. But yeah, the defense right now from both teams, pretty good so far. I would say the edge is still on We Make You Fizz because they're slowly but surely getting more objectives. The dragons are all well and good, but over time the turrets are going to start mattering more. As we see the blue again has respawned, and they will take another blue. And the cycle continues with Anivia's anti-siege and the LoLdo faction trying desperately to pull turrets into their favor. As we see Sato getting as many hits as he can. I don't know if they spotted out Anivia there, but they probably knew she was taking the blue. As the General actually recalls. Thankfully, there's no real hard initiate on We Make You Fizz's side, barring like some crazy Flash and Lulu ulti, but even then, not too much. As we see Sneaky Deebs taking a peek at the dragon, and they are doing it. Nasus ulti has been popped. Oh, and Nasus steal... What? 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 How? I don't even... What? How did he steal that? Oh, Soul Seizure's probably gonna go down. Yeah. Yeah, that was a wasted flash right there. But they should still be able to burn down Nasus, I believe. Yeah, he has Ghost available. So the teleport is a no bueno. And he just kind of resigned himself to his fate. He's just going to try and get as much damage as he can. The double buffs will go to Sneaky Deebs. How did he steal the dragon? Amumu did not get his smite off. Like, what happened? So, wow. Pretty good exchange right there, to say the least, for the LoLdo faction. I'm not sure why VO did not finish the dragon with smite, but nonetheless, they did get an overall 2-for-1 in that exchange, plus the dragon, and they got the mid turret. So a big swing right there. 36k to 32k. So we shall see if the LoLdo faction can continue to snowball this lead. And it does look like, well, I can't really call the Infinity Edge quite yet, but I highly doubt that Sato will be going for a Last Whisper this early in the game. So I'd like to believe that's an Infinity Edge coming out. The General is getting a little tanky now. He has that Locket combined with the the Ancient Golem. Sneaky Deebs is getting huge though. 212 farm. Very close with Anivia. 3 members of the LoLdo faction above 200 farm. That's really good for them. Soul Seizures has been having a great game so far with his CS. Very impressed. And Malphite with that double armor item with the attack speed debuff and the Frozen Heart aura. Vayne is going to be having a hard time if he can stick on her. The question is if, though, if they can stick on her. They've been having a hard time. They've been getting the fights that they want, but they have a hard time finishing the fights correctly. And a lot of it is due to We Make You Fizz's superior mechanics in fights at times. But yeah, Malphite with double buff, probably not a good idea for JDK to fight this. I'm guessing he's gonna have to back off pretty soon. Because yeah, he just got chunked to half. And We Make You Fizz is making a very bold attempt to push the top lane again with Amumu going up to help. But Anivia has to respect the push in mid and has to go back to clear. But yeah, now that Sneaky Deeves has that double buff, he should be able to keep Nasus in check for the time being at least. And that was an Infinity Edge as I thought for Sato. I really like that buy. Combined with the Blade of the Ruined King, that's a great combination of items for AD carries, especially ones with so much attack speed. But yeah, still no real grouping to be seen for the moment. Both teams still trying to just protect their whatever towers they have left standing and just trying to play this slow game of cat and mouse. But yeah, we see that we make you Fizz getting a little caught out. Ooh, those crit bonuses really starting to hurt as we see Nasus finally joining the fight. And VO16 is probably going to die right here as he does get burned down by the Sunfire Cape. Nautilus does pay for it with his life, but still a great trade, and nobody is in position for We Make You Fizz to counter push. That is very key. And because Nasus' teleport just came up, he had to walk the long way. And We Make You Fizz just gonna have to lick their wounds and turtle up for a little bit. Think about what happened in those fights. VO16 can't afford to get caught out like that. He is the jungler and the tank, so it's not ideal to focus him, but if it's free, they're gonna go for it. And like I said, once Tristana starts critting you, it doesn't matter how tanky you are, you're gonna die eventually. You saw the crit bonus chunks that he was doing. And if he can get that last Whisper on lock, he's gonna be in such a strong position over Vayne at the moment. As we see the LoLdo faction securing their blue. Ooh, almost missed it right there. And we have another pause. Beautiful.
A summoner has disconnected.
Okay, so Shimmy Snap has DC'd.
A summoner has reconnected.
Okay, so hopefully that's the last pause we have in this game. I can't imagine this. This set has been going on for almost 6 hours. That is ridiculous. And another pause. Oh my. Oh, what the hell? Okay. Anyway. What the? Okay, hopefully, finally, this is the last pause of the game. And we can see a conclusion to this set. This set has been going on again for almost 6 hours. And, see the dragon getting moved in on by the LoLdo faction. Lantern goes out to scout the red just in case anybody's there. And that will go down easy. And the LoLdo faction have about a 7k gold lead, but... Oh, wow. Oh, hello, Vayne. You're in no man's land. Oh, failed tumble as well. Death sentence. Oh, the death sentence whiffs, but it doesn't matter. He still goes down anyway. And now VO16 walking in a horrible pattern, and that's going to be another death. So, they're just going to tank up this tower, it looks like, for a little bit of damage. They should honestly make a move for Baron right now. Vayne is still dead for 25 seconds. Amumu is dead for 30. Yeah, and they're definitely making a move for the Baron. They should have just did that immediately as soon as they got the kills. They wasted quite a bit of time. And Shimmy Snap and Lulu going to check. I mean, and Nasus going to check. They're just gonna have to back it up though. They can't afford to die there. That would just be disastrous. So yeah, Vayne getting caught out doing the rates. Honestly, these pauses are really unfortunate because it kills a lot of momentum, and you do tend to, it can cause you to lose focus, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about the win. So, and that's what the pause button is indeed for, to prevent DCs. So it's just unfortunate that Vayne got caught in that position. And now they have the Baron buff, and this game is in the LoLdo faction's hands now. The game is basically theirs. They have a 10k or so gold lead, and they have Baron. So all they have to do now is just keep sieging turrets. Do exactly what We Make You Fizz was doing when they had control of the Baron, and just slow roll all the turrets down and just secure the lead in the safest way possible without going crazy. They cannot afford another herp derp dive like how they did in the beginning of the game. They definitely don't want to be diving all the way into Nasus and Anivia AoE. Let's take a brief look at the items. Build's starting to come together now. Last Whisper has indeed been completed on Tristana. She hasn't gotten a lot of kills, but she still has 6 assists and 250 plus farm. Lissandra, very big right now. Malphite is huge with 304 and a bunch of items to boot. His teleport is up again as well. The General also having a very great game, 0-1 and 8, and is working towards his Aegis of the Legion. Vayne is still working on that Quicksilver Sash. He's gonna need it for all that CC if he gets caught out. And Anivia looking towards probably Azonia's. At this point, I don't think the death cap is gonna help them any. He needs to be able to just survive for as long as he can. Runic Bulwark coming out for Amumu. And there's the Aegis of the Legion for Nautilus, so that's a good pickup. Nasus is super big in terms of his farm and his kills, but it's still not... Oh wow, VO16 going back for the Golem and eating a bunch of damage for it. Vayne coming down to help, maybe? I'm not sure if they can fight this though. Mumu's very low. Yeah, and Vayne just backing it up. And this is actually bad for We Make You Fizz because they gave up another inner turret while all that was happening. And holy shit, the pink wards and the regular wards. So now the siege is indeed on. And we'll see if We Make You Fizz gets stretched here. LoLdo faction looks like they're playing very safe with their Baron buff. The Baron buff does not have a whole lot left, only about a minute or so. So it looks like they're just gonna regroup and they'll probably check the red, help themselves to that. And they're just gonna continue to rob vision from We Make You Fizz as they pressure this inner turret. Definitely a lot safer than going for the inhibitor turret for sure. And Tristana will tap that a couple times and down it will go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So yeah, this is kind of gut check time for We Make You Fizz to see if they have another comeback in the tank. They pulled a number of comebacks on the LoLdo faction in this tournament already. So it's definitely still not over yet. Anything can happen. But for the moment, We Make You Fizz has their backs to the wall and the wall of their base. They're about one bad team fight away from losing an inhibitor, and then the floodgates, as I like to call it, will open up as they lose both their buffs. Nothing they can really do about it though. They just have to suck it up. As the pink ward will come down. Not really necessary since the oracles were there, but still good to have vision there just in case. And Runic Bulwark has been completed. I'm not sure what the third item will be for Soul Seizures. It might be a Void Staff or it could be something else, a Death Cap. Seraph's Embrace completed on Anivia. She is definitely strong, but the LoLdo faction are just that much stronger right now with their gold lead of 57k to 44k. 4-9 in the kills, 6-2 in the turrets is the name of the game though. And the dragon is up, and why not? Might as well just take it. Whatever accelerates their builds that much faster. And it is still a good experience to get from killing it. Yeah, and that's gonna go down, no question. Baron buff has expired on the LoLdo faction, so now they're gonna have to be a little bit more careful with taking poke damage and getting caught out. But nonetheless, Malphite will continue to split push and apply pressure. LoLdo faction not really all that interested in the top lane, I think. They're just gonna stay mid and continue to just apply the pressure and knock on the door. They can get one more good pick, one more good engage. That could be their ticket to first place. Okay, so it is. They are gonna play it safe, keep the lanes checked up and pushing for them. Never know when an opportunity might occur, and they are gonna go back and buy, and then they're gonna try to regroup. And again, We Make You Fizz just too scared to leave their base. They have no vision in their jungle, so it's just too risky. Even farming out by the inner turrets where they once were is way too scary. And oh my, that build on Tristana, that is a scary Tristana. And it will be a Void Staff and a Liandry's coming out from Soul Seizures, going for max pen, as well as a little bit of health for survivability and that damage over time. That's going to help him out a lot. He's getting a double burn from the Morellos and from the Liandry's. As we see Baron being started up, I don't think we make you Fizz can contest this. That's just going to go down for free, 100%. Yeah, they're not even interested in checking it. I doubt they even know when it's up. They haven't been on the other side of the map in a long time. And now with the Baron buff, the inhibitor siege is on once again. And that is not good news for We Make You Fizz. But once again, sieging turrets not the easiest thing with Anivia there. They're going to have to wait till she either runs out of mana or if they want to actually decide to dive. They must approach with caution though. We Make You Fizz's team fight is not to be underestimated. Even with this huge of a gold lead, it is still very possible. Thresh Hook will probably be their key in though, if anything. As we see, Malphite has actually grouped up with them now. Looks like they're gonna commit to this dive perhaps, as Nasus has to leave to worry about the bottom turret. Oh, Thresh Hook barely missing right there. And Anivia is now at half mana. She is going to lose out on her mana eventually. As we see Malphite taking a trip up to the top lane, keeping all the lanes pushed in their favor as much as possible. They still have about a little over 2 minutes on their Baron buff. So as long as they can get at least one inhibitor turret, the Baron buff will be worth it. And yeah, that regen's just going to help them take shots so much easier. Amumu looked like he was thinking about going in right there, but Tristana able to get a couple shots off. Sneaky Deeves not really worried about running out of mana at this point. Anivia trying to conserve her mana so that she can not only have enough for the wave clear, but enough for the fight. If she runs out of mana for the fight, it will be all for nothing. As we see Sneaky Deeves continuing to pressure the top. JDK doing his absolute best to try to stop him. As we see more shots on the turret. Slowly but surely it's gonna go down if this keeps up. And all the meanwhile, Nasus just can't move from top. Earlier in the set, he couldn't move from top because he was too busy pushing LoLdo faction's turrets. Now it's the exact opposite. But yeah, Sato needs to walk up and get hits. Very nice job by the General to tank up the turret. That was so huge. Now they could probably kamikaze on the next wave. They still have a little bit of time left on the Baron buff, for sure. But that was a great move by the General to just stand there and take it. Nivea wall goes off. That's a significant cooldown for zoning. And it looks like they're gonna go! Hello! Unstoppable Force. Ignornimus. Vio exploding. Nasus popping ulti. This could be the game-winning fight. The LoLdo faction have all but aced We Make You Fizz. A great dive. 50-second death timers. That is most definitely GG. The LoLdo faction, against all odds, have come to play. And they have taken the League of Legends Summer League, brought to you by eSportsHI. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they did it. Well played. Congratulations to the LoLdo faction. They did it. They've won the tournament.